Me in studio, Fox News contributor and professor of business and economics at the King's College in Manhattan, Brian Brenberg. Finally, we've got some Bryanomics. None of this is good news. I know the White House is trying to spin it. I don't know if people are going to believe that when they're paying more for stuff than they ever have, and the cost of living is not meeting this inflation.
No, I mean, that lady can't buy that roast. She's not eating roast because of these price increases. What's bad here is the president is in complete denial mode. He missed it last year. The Fed missed it last year. Transitory. Now we've got it. And what are they saying now? It's peaked.
Yes.
We're at peak inflation. Really? How do you know that? Did you know that last year?
What if it doesn't peak before the midterms?
Well, here's the thing. Even if this is the highest growth rate inflation we see, and I don't know that it will be, even if it is, it's going to stay at these elevated levels, growing on a higher beginning point from last year, which means there's a compounding effect. Translation, your prices aren't going down. Your pay is not going to catch up with it. That's the problem here. Pay is lagging behind. It's lagging behind. The prices are going up. And what he's trying to do is say, we've hit the peak, and I'm going to do some gimmicks. I'm going to do some gimmicks on ethanol. I'm going to do some gimmicks on the release of petroleum reserves.
Yes.
Not going to make a difference. It's just not going to make a difference.
And it's not just gas. It's not just food. In fact, those are the elements that they don't count when they talk about CPI.
We got to leave those out. Yeah. So, and they're talking, the president's talking about the core number. The core number didn't go as much. It didn't go up as much. We're going to leave out gas. We're going to leave out food. Well, guess what? That's core for everybody. Yeah. Those are the core things. You cannot leave them out right now. So he's trying to play games with these numbers. This is so scary. You can't play games with inflation. You can't talk your way out of inflation. We've been saying that for months and months and months now. We're seeing the result of it, and he's just not going to do anything about it. This is the scary part. We really have to talk about recession now toward the end of this year, because people are going to pull back on their spending, especially after the summer. They're going to pull back on their spending.
That's my question, because two things are going to force them to do that. And I want to know what happens when inflation goes up, rates go up. That means it's going to be more expensive to borrow money, and that both those things are going to tamp down consumer spending. So how do we not go into a recession with that kind of an environment?
Well, we absolutely are going to go into a recession. I think we're headed that way because the president won't turn around. He's still talking about spending. He won't do anything on energy. He doesn't have answers to any of these problems. When you get toward the end of the year and people are feeling the higher rates, which means they're not borrowing and spending, and they're seeing prices continue to be high, they're just going to do the rational thing. It's rational. Pull back. Don't spend. Economize. That's what tips the economy into recession. Now we have a bigger problem, because that jobs picture that looks so good this year, all those available jobs, that starts to change. I don't know how long that recession lasts, but it's the kind of thing that could really affect the midterms.
So how does, and here's another element that this administration wants to blame on everybody else, the supply chain. Yeah. It's like you've got businesses that they say their number one issue right now is inflation. Yeah. A little while ago, it was concerns about labor and whether or not they could find competent people to fill those necessary jobs. Now it's inflation. So you've got labor, inflation, and the supply chain.
This is so vexing for businesses, because the whole point of being in business is you make plans. You think about the future and you budget for the future. Inflation makes that almost impossible. And here's why. Because you don't know if you're getting ripped off for things. All your baselines for what a thing should cost are out the window with an inflationary environment like this. Translation, you don't invest. You don't create as many jobs. The economy slows down. That is the reality. You cannot play with this. The president in Iowa, talking the way he's talking, is so irresponsible.
He doesn't care. Jerome Powell doesn't care. They don't care because they're just covering their own asses. They're doing whatever they can in the short term until they're no longer in power, and they're not concerned about long-term policy. Brenberg, thank you so much.